Hi, Mike Sarah here from Customer States. If you're searching for the highest quality additives, lubricants, or cleaners for your automotive, heavy equipment, agricultural, or industrial machinery needs, look no further than the Justice Brothers line of products. From lubing your chainsaw, performing a complete fuel system treatment and decarb service on a customer's vehicle, keeping that forklift forking and lifting, or just need a can of that famous JB80 penetrant to persuade a rusty bolt, Justice Brothers has you covered. Travis Ferris of Hit Distributing is not only Southern California's authorized Justice Brothers distributor, but also a great friend of mine. Over the years, Travis has helped me and my dealership with anything and everything we need, including all the lines of Justice Brothers products and even equipment to perform the various services we may need for our specific application. HIT stands for honesty, integrity, and trust, so you know when you contact Travis, that's exactly what you'll get. That, combined with Justice Brothers supplying superior quality automotive products since the 1940s and 75 years in the racing industry, you will have absolutely everything at your disposal to get the job done. Justice Brothers is proudly made in the USA, and they have a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Justice Brothers has the best quality products over any other competitor, and they'll gladly tell you that themselves. If you live in the Southern California area, call my man Travis Ferris at 805-208-7818. And if you don't, call him anyway and tell him I said thanks. And visit justicebrothers.com to learn more about their complete line of products. Justice Brothers, America's brand for quality. That is cardinal sin number one, I believe.
I thought consent was everything.
Well, it wasn't here.
Not up in here.
I'm just gonna...
Hi, bitches.
Hi.
As Allie premature ejaculates, welcome to Customer States Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything in the automotive industry.
See, it can happen for women.
Ew, gross. Happy Friday. We made it through another week. I'm so glad to be here with y'all. But on that note,
since somebody couldn't plan it right,
you just got me there a little too early is all.
You're welcome.
Not that you're complaining.
Thank you.
I'm Eric Montenegro, heavy line technician, Fjord Motor Company.
Fjord.
For almost 5 years. And to my left is the ostentatious Paul.
Hello. It is I, the warranty professional.
I don't know about being professional.
You know what? Eric was making fun of me before the podcast.
I would never.
And I just want you all to know that I'm not taking it personally.
Let the record show.
Anyways,
professionals
I've been
get their work done on
professionally
time.
doing warranties and not interrupting people for about 13 years now. And to my left is a wonderful, considerate, never ever interrupts people at all, service writer extraordinaire, Jacob Rikus.
I'm none of those things.
You're not an extraordinaire.
You are to me.
You're wonderful.
Am I?
I think so.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
It doesn't matter what Mike says about you. That's what I think.
That's okay. Hi.
Why you gotta bus roll me like that? What's happening here?
Hello, everybody. It's me. It's Jake. I write service.
Hi, Jake.
What's up, fuckers?
Hello. What's up, fuckers?
Yeah, you haven't done that.
I know. What's up, fuckers? Yeah, I'm a service advisor, glorified assistant service director, and
Assistant to the regional manager.
Yes.
Assistant to the assistant regional manager.
Correct. The assistant to the assistant and a technician secretary.
Yes.
Technician's bitch.
Technician secretary.
Technician's bitch.
A tech bitch. And to my left,
The pod Nazi.
Pod Nazi.
Oh, no. No.
Oh my God!
Do you have a question, Eric?
Yes, he did.
I think he had a question and it was a little gay.
Yeah.
Mike Dolph Schitler.
Well, we have to do the whole podcast over now.
My name is Mike Sarah, senior mass technician, transmission technician, and shop foreman.
Shop foreskin.
And to my left is our very
What do you mean
special...
to your left? I'm usually the one to your left.
Well, we have a very special guest today, and our very special guest is straight out of parts department.
Oh,
And his name is
begins.
Tommy De La Cruz.
Mr.
Yes.
Tommy Pickles.
I am Tommy,
Hi, Tommy.
and I am the parts bitch and a loose cannon.
We love
for various reasons. But yeah, that's it. I wish I had these like awesome titles like all of you guys, but I'm just the parts bitch.
Parts Bitch is a pretty good title. I mean, that's not terrible.
Well,
Somebody has to do parts.
yeah, thanks. And I chose to do it.
It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
And how many years have you been choosing to do this?
Oh, well,
I didn't choose this life. This life chose me.
We'll get to that later.
is the word this. Yes, choose. Over 25 years.
Wow.
I have chosen to do this, to walk this path.
Since
And like just out.
go ahead. You just
Can I?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm talking.
I got excited. I'm sorry. I pre-came.
But yeah, so I describe it as like just choosing to put your hand in a boiling pot of oil.
Yes.
That's what I've been choosing to do, like for over 25 years. So
Isn't
yeah.
there a movie that
So
shows
I'm a
that
totally
scene?
happy, joy person. If you can't tell. But thank you for having me here.
Happy, joy.
You're welcome. Hopefully, this podcast doesn't feel like putting your hand in a boiling pot of oil for 25 years. But
this is
also,
cool.
Well, since
Also,
he says
I
he's
feel
been-
you.
He's been doing it for 25 years. I'm
Plus.
gonna quiz them. How old do you guys think Tommy is?
Oh God.
How old do I think Tommy is?
I love you.
I don't think we're legally allowed to talk about that.
47.
Close.
42.
Or not.
39.
Right? No.
I'll be 50 this month.
Oh, damn, dude. You look good.
amazing.
GTFO.
Yes.
GTFO.
Dear God, Michael.
GT.
Get the fuck out.
I hope my
well,
beard comes
actually,
in that nice
kids.
by the time I'm 50.
Kids.
I did that on
You're
purpose.
halfway there,
obviously.
babe.
Yeah, my daughter's grown. I've been there, done that. But see, it's the parts department.
Yeah.
Because in reality, we don't do shit.
But how does that keep you young?
Oh, he's like in a stasis.
Because we don't do, we're just,
Every time a technician cries, a parts man or a parts person gets his wings.
every time a technician cries, like we go in the back and we just like have this whole
Take a quick shot.
party and
Yeah, light up a
talk about it.
My job is done for
Did
the
you
day.
see what I did to that dude, man?
He had it coming. He thought he could get his parts ordered 2 days in advance.
Yeah. Imagine back order.
D99.
Right? Seriously.
Yeah.
For Ford
That's
people, that means like extreme crazy back order.
Yeah.
Galactic
Intergalactic
order.
back
Intergalactic
order.
back order,
Yeah,
which we've discussed
intergalactic.
before.
And it's taking a tour around the universe 3
Something like
times.
that.
Before it arrives.
Let me tell you
In
the
pieces.
fiasco of ordering a Ford 2005 to 2008 Ford GT supercar part when it shows
He
11 at
listens
the
to the
depot.
podcast.
Okay, yeah. I'll tell you about what Copus came back to me and told us later. So.
What was your question?
Yeah, that cope.
She wanted to ask about the sexiest advisor.
I did.
You mean sexist?
It does say sexist.
Well, no wonder why we're in the jobs that we're in, because nobody else can read, but that obviously says sexist advisor.
Except
doesn't
for
say
me.
sexiest advisor. There's no E after the.
Moving on.
So we had a very interesting experience at the dealership, and this is really uncommon, which is why it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I get a call from the general manager, and he's telling me, I need you to come up here and talk to me with this customer. I said, okay. So I go up there, and we're in the like customer parking area, and it's this woman sitting in her car and talking with the general manager, and general manager starts telling me that she had a bad experience, that this, that, and the other happened, and we weren't ever able to duplicate any problems with their vehicle, and so we weren't able to fix it. But now after she got it back, there's all these other issues with it, even though we never made any repairs on it.
Ever since, yeah.
And also the fact that the service advisor was very rude to her and was extremely sexist, and then she starts, and I really feel bad for her, but she starts crying.
Oh.
She starts crying.
She made everything
I
up.
have a question, and maybe I shouldn't ask this now. Jacob.
I meant customers. Jesus Christ.
What is that saying you say? Every problem starts with what?
Oh, you can't spell overreacting without
Bleep, 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 bleep. Ooga dooga.
So, my question is,
God, canceled.
and maybe this is better for the end of your topic, but is she crazy or is she
You said she was a female, right?
like, stop it? Or it's, wow, look, another sexist advisor. Wow, who knew?
Weird, they don't work at my dealership.
It's more common than you'd think.
Anyway, so
Continue
I
on.
happen as she's discussing these issues with me, all the issues that are wrong with her vehicle that we weren't able to duplicate. The general manager is still there, and she's talking about how her door mirrors don't adjust, and when she pushes this button, nothing happens and stuff like that. Well, she's pushing the like window cancel button to like, child lock the windows.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
And she's thinking that adjust like works her mirrors or whatever, and that doesn't happen. And then she's saying like, well, look how it doesn't adjust, and the mirror's pushed all the way out, like as far as like the glass in the mirror itself.
Yeah. Click.
And she's pushing on the direction all the way out. So I said, well, hold on, let me take a look at this. And I said, first of all, this button controls the door windows, which is for like, if you had a dog
Child
or
lock,
children back there, they can't roll down the windows on their own. So that's what that button does. Oh, really? Yes.
Wow. You should not be driving a car.
Then
Forbidden
Then
text.
I showed her that, well, if you push this button over here and actually roll the window roll the mirror the correct way, the mirror actually does adjust up, down, this way, that way. That's why we weren't able to duplicate that concern. And then she's like, well, let me show you the issue with, she was talking about like, the Apple CarPlay or the connectivity with the vehicle electronics.
Bluetooth
Yeah.
situation.
And she's like, oh, well, obviously it's working right now, but I mean, it doesn't work like half the time. I'm like, these are some of the issues that we run into, is that if we can't duplicate the problem while the vehicle's here, there's nothing that we can do. So like in front of the general manager of the dealership who got involved, I disproved like 3 of her things and granted, the vehicle may have problems, but if it's not happening right now, I can't do it. And I feel like a couple of them were just user error.
Sounds like a problem with the driver, not the
But
car.
I'm not blaming anybody. She did have a bad experience. Now, let's talk about that for a second. She kept telling me that she never heard anything back from the service advisor, that the vehicle was there for a day and a half, and she never heard anything back from him.
Service advisors don't call their customers back regularly?
Well, hold on.
Who knew?
Hold on. Then
Jake, what do you have to say for
About-
yourself?
I do.
about 10 minutes later, she's telling me how the service advisor had to repeatedly call her back and ask her, how do we get this vehicle to act up? What's wrong with the vehicle? We're not able to get anything to act up. So she said that she was never communicated with, but yet then 10 minutes later, in the conversation time, she tells me that the service advisor called her 3 different times, and she was upset that he wasn't paying attention to her and things like that. And, she thought that, maybe he was, this, that, and the other.
Retarded.
Rhubarbid.
We don't say that.
So we already know that she was actually contacted by the service advisor, because she said that she had to keep calling her back to ask for how to duplicate the concern. Then when she comes to come pick up the vehicle, the service advisor confused the customer and the vehicle with another exact same vehicle that was at the dealership. Like, God forbid there's 2 of the same exact colored Ford vehicles at a Ford dealership. So he confused the vehicle with a different customer and said, oh, Mr. So-and-so dropped the vehicle off. Yeah, I got the paperwork right here. What do you mean, Mr. So-and-so? I've been talking to you the whole time. How can you say that? And she thought that he was being sexist because there was another man that was in the service drive or whatever picking up another vehicle. So her misconception, and I couldn't say this when I was talking to her, but her misconception through a series of unfortunate events, all of this transpired to make one big horrible experience for the customer. And I truly do feel bad for her. But you have to, no.
Yes.
You have to
Well, she
understand.
was overreacting.
You have to understand that, some people just can't handle this, and they already distrust dealerships. So when their perception is this is what's going on, you're already at a loss.
That sounds like a YP.
Well, guess what dealership she's going to?
White person?
Your problem?
Yeah, your problem.
Oh,
Guess what dealership?
WP.
Guess what dealership she's going to?
Mazda.
Oops.
Mine? Mine?
Mine?
Mine?
Oh, I have a story
What's your
related
story?
to that. So the other
Oh,
day,
I think I remember you mentioning this.
yeah, but I didn't say it on the podcast, right? I'm pretty sure I
you
didn't. Okay, so the other day I was in the Mazda service drive, and all the guys were we're all joking around. There were no customers in there, and they're like, "Oh, it's kind of been a slow day, da da da." Like we're waiting, and a customer drives up into the drive, and they all look at me and they start going, "Mine, mine, mine, mine." I was dying. It was so good.
Did you die?
But did you die?
She's still here.
Speaking of transitioning into an update,
Ooh, nicely done. Oh, I thought it was good.
Of course you did.
Go ahead, Allie.
That's not mine.
Mine.
Oh, I was about to just
know you
go
were.
into mine.
No, I thought you were going to start singing. Transit
I actually
update.
don't know what words come next in that song.
Tommy's a little bit involved with this.
Oh,
Very minor. You just know of the vehicle. You're not involved
Okay.
in the fiasco with it. So last week we talked about the Transit and my discussion with the wrecking yard and how I had suspected they sent the wrong engine, but the customer
is fucked here. Nothing is fucked.
But the customer wanted us to proceed with the repair, and that if it didn't work out, then the wrecking yard was going to pay for it, right? Okay, so we proceeded with the repair and installed the engine into the vehicle, and everything's going beautifully. It fires up, it's nice and quiet, it's running on all six, it's great. And then it starts getting up to operating temperature.
And then?
Now and then.
kaboom.
no, and then.
And it starts misfiring on random fucking cylinders, and they just randomly just start dropping out. I'm like, that's cool. You turn the key off, start it again, and it's fine for another couple minutes. Cleared the keep alive memory, performed a misfire profile relearn, did all of the steps we're supposed to do. Still won't run right. And even went as far as to swap coils and plugs just for the hell of it. By the way, this engine came pre-filled with oil. The original oil from when the vehicle was wrecked. It was old, dirty oil. The valve train was clean. It had been maintained, but they didn't bother to drain any of the fluids that is illegal
Is that
to transport across the U.S. on a truck. And so
You guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
we came to the conclusion that it's, like I said, is the wrong
engine.
fucking engine. And the wrecking yard was up in arms, and they're pissed that it's not. We're doing something wrong. We don't know what we're doing. Blah, 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 blah. And it just ballooned in this whole thing. We told the customer, like, look, we prepared you for this. The engine's going to have to come back out. We're going to have to put another engine in it. I was able to source another engine from our wrecking yard that I was able to confirm was the right one, but they didn't want to pay for that.
For sure, the right one.
Yes, but they didn't want to pay for that. So the wrecking yard who supplied us with the original incorrect engine wants to send us another engine. But they want us to pull the engine out that we installed and put it on a crate and ship it back to them. And then when they receive that engine, they will send us a new one.
I bet they do.
And leave a vehicle down on my rack.
I bet they do.
Not gonna fucking happen. No way in hell. And went back and forth with the advisor for a little bit, only for them. Oh well, I'll talk to the shop manager or whatever it is. How they ended it. In the midst of all this, I ran over to the parts department to check, and sure as shit, the long block is still on back order. But I was able to build an engine with the parts manager with a short block and heads
and all this stuff.
everything else, cams, everything else that one need. Obviously, it costs a little bit more money.
Oh, quite a bit more, I'm sure.
Yes, quite a bit more money, and presented the customer with a $19,000 quote.
Mother of God.
And yeah, her reaction, if you can imagine. Well, I have to talk to the owner about that one. How come we just didn't do that the first go around? Well, because that's not normal practice for us to build you an engine. We just get you an engine that's already built because you're saving a ton on labor and even on parts in some cases.
Most cases.
Right. But he spun it and was able to get her to understand that this was going to be a one-time deal. And this is the warranty you're getting with it and blah, blah, blah. So long story short, they ended up just relying on the junkyard to send out another engine, which we still haven't heard back whether or not they're going to ship it to us. So I moved that bitch out of the bay and parked it in the farthest fucking corner of the lot until they can get their shit together and figure out what's going on.
Like, every dealership has that one part of the lot, right? Where there's like one car that's just been there. Yeah. Just this car lives
Those
here.
become parts.
Donor vehicles.
Yeah.
At times, yes.
Sometimes
I mean, you guys
they do.
had that for a long time when you had your back-ordered heads and whatnot.
I need a test part off
and
this.
turbos. Yeah. So
Yeah, they become parts property.
they do. And
Hard
well,
to
eventually
say.
dealership
But yeah,
property
we'll ravage them if we need to.
until it
Nobody
becomes
heard me say
lien
that.
sale. Ravage? I like to ravage.
I don't know how else to say it.
I mean,
I love it.
it's efficient.
But like I said, that was
It's efficient.
The update on the Transit and the fiasco with that. Oh, and then so I go to move it out of the bay and the damn thing won't go into gear. Motherfucker. I ended up figuring out it was because when my apprentice was installing the brake booster, he damaged the brake switch.
Blame it on the apprentice.
And so, well,
If it isn't parts, it's the apprentice.
this time it was the apprentice.
Okay, I believe you.
And
Sorta.
he installed a new switch and it still wasn't deactivating the shift interlock. So I had to pop out the center console to pop off the shift cable to and then hook it with a hook to shift it in and out of drive and reverse.
I love that.
Yeah. You improvise. I just want it the fuck out of my bay. I don't want to look at
Improvise,
this goddamn
adapt,
thing anymore.
overcome.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Wait, what?
The Office.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not funny when you have to explain it, Michael.
I didn't explain it. I just okay. Anyway,
The joke just isn't as
It's
efficient
efficient.
as when you have to explain
I
it.
didn't see that one coming.
so
Can I go home?
You're excused.
so
Tommy, we apologize.
this is. I'm going to make this a quick one. One of the issues that we're having is management cracking down on efficiency and unapplied labor, which we've talked about like forever. And so we were going to have one-on-one meetings. I got my ass chewed on Tuesday.
Did it feel good?
No, I got my ass chewed on Tuesday.
He wasn't doing it right.
About okay.
I'm gonna come.
So I got yelled at on Tuesday for the inefficiency in the shop from certain technicians, and we were going to have a one-on-one meeting with all these technicians and the general manager, not even the service manager, the general manager, myself, and the technician, and discuss their inefficiencies and how we can improve upon that and why they need to improve upon that. So I was dreading that conversation because I knew it was going to be horrible, because a lot of the problems in the shop are things that the general manager at this time can't understand. You know, like the technicians can't produce hours if there's not the work in the shop, or there's not the parts, or there's not the this, or there's not the that. It's not that the guy, I mean, some of the guys are genuinely slow, but most of the problems are like, the customers coming in.
Like, takes a long time or slow?
Yes. Yes.
Both.
Yes.
Yes. So, as we started having more of these meetings, we had 9 technicians that we were going to bring in, and we slotted all the times to make, a 10-minute meeting with each technician. And so as we brought in the first 3 or 4, every single person kept saying the exact, literally verbatim, the exact same thing that I was saying about there's not enough work. I can't get parts. I'm being slowed down by this, that, and the other. It's very hard for me to make hours. Before it was better, but it's hard for me to make hours right now. And so
This is that time of the year as well.
after
It's
all of
beginning
that,
to look
yeah.
a lot like December.
People don't want to spend money on their cars to fix their cars. They're going to spend money on Christmas presents. So everything gets pushed off till mid-January.
So, like, not even midway through the list, we take a break, and it's just me and the general manager talking, and I'm like, I'm just trying to tell you, this is like legitimately what's happening in the shop. We're trying everything that we can. We've made commercials. We've put in different advertising, things like that. We're trying to build a business, but it doesn't happen like, right now.
How come?
How is it the technician's responsibility to make sure that customers come in? Like, that's not your guys' fault if there's not customers coming in.
Let me give you an anecdote real quick and explain the day to day. So we had 50 appointments today.
Okay.
By lunch, we had 30 appointments, but 17 of them were no-shows from the morning. So try and explain that.
That's not your fault.
Granted, we have a lot of walk-ins that kind of offset that, but we schedule for a day, and if the customer doesn't come in, what are we supposed to do? We have blocks of time where the lube techs are standing around waiting for the next car to come in, but then all of a sudden at 2:30 they get busy again. I can't send them home at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock because there's nothing going on, because at 2:30 here comes the next swarm of stuff. So these efficiencies that they talk about, we're talking about, he wants every technician to be 100% efficient all the time. That's impossible.
It's not going to happen.
So, we have technicians in the shop
Can he give
that
you
are,
an example of a shop that does that? Like,
he can, but it's not reasonable. It's Jacob. So anyway,
Why'd you Jacob me? I'm just saying all of my techs are over 100% efficiency every month.
I'm very proud of your 4
Yeah,
technicians.
but your efficiency is based on, is it per pay period, per week, or per month?
It's per week.
Per week.
Per week.
Not per pay period.
Per week.
Okay.
Your shop is a very small pie of the entire pie.
Very small pie of the entire pie.
Slice of pie of the entire pie. You're an anomaly in there.
We're an anomaly. 5 techs and their average efficiency is 135%.
5 techs is an extremely small dealership.
I know. I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying, but still, for every single tech averaging at 135% efficiency.
yeah, get good, Michael.
We're like 25 people at times, 22 I think right now. So
that would mean your averages should be higher.
if we
the
had
work was
I
there.
know. I know. I just like busting his balls.
Listen, I've had it all day. I just give it to me a little bit more.
Take it.
Anyway, the biggest issue that we had was that at the end of like midway through the list of people that we had to talk about, he's like, you know what? I have to rethink some things. Let's do this tomorrow. It happened to be end of month, so that was a good excuse to like cut the meeting short. But I think he's finally started to understand like what the issues in the shop were, and I believe he's going to be a little bit more receptive come next week to what we have to say about how we can change this in the dealership to make the technicians more efficient and control a little bit better the craziness that is an automotive dealership.
Well, maybe he should make a new metric of how it's like on a sliding scale of how many people come into the shop, because like people can't be, if the work's not there, like how can they be? I guess you can still be efficient if you're.
They just want, what they want is for them to clock out and go home.
Yeah, which you can't tell somebody, oh, hey, it's 2:30. I'm sure you were expecting your 8 hours today, but sorry, you got to leave. Nobody wants to hear that. People will leave, and it's just doesn't happen like that all the time. For somebody that watches the numbers closely day to day, it's not the way that the automotive industry works. I mean, that's crazy.
It's a never-ending battle, and it will continuously be a never-ending battle.
Something we'll have to follow up on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should probably follow up on that.
Oh, we should follow up on that?
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's towards the end, so I didn't know if we were going to skip to your
late to the party.
So, last week, I talked about how the Volkswagen shop is having a bit of a diagnosis conundrum. We're very high in compared to our region.
By like 80%.
No, it wasn't 80%.
It's 30%.
It wasn't 30% either.
It's like 40.
I'm glad you guys pay attention. It was upwards of 60% higher than the region.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And I gave an example during the podcast. And the person that I used
Got up in
as
arms.
an example. No. He wasn't up in arms. But
He wants a chance to
you
protect
guys,
himself.
it was Will, friend of the show.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
So Will is going to come in next week
Do not come.
to
Inside me.
wow. I'm very distracted. Okay. So Will is going to come on the show next week to
Defend
give
himself.
his side of the story and a little bit more information that
I object.
overruled.
Sustained.
Wait, you just objected. Wow, someone doesn't watch enough Law and Order. Anyways, so Will's gonna come back
Relevance.
on objection leading, and we're gonna have a really fun time.
Are we?
And
Are you
Will is
sure?
gonna explain how I'm right and he's wrong. No, just kidding, Will. I'm just kidding. It's
He's
not
gonna
like that. It's not
mansplain.
like that.
He's gonna mansplain.
No, Will's not like that.
I know he's not. We love you, Will.
We do.
Mr.
And we
Tom-
can't wait
Mr. Tomcat.
To, so
Will
tune
you
in.
join us next week? Will you?
Will I am going to be waiting?
Tune in to Customer States Podcast.
We will.
That's
Nice.
a joke.
Rock you.
Let's do it.
So what do you call Batman when he skips church?
Batman.
No.
What do you call Batman when he skips church?
I don't know.
Christian Bale.
Oh my god. That's a good one. I'm not even mad at that one. Listen, Tommy, you haven't heard some of the bangers that we've had.
Bangers. Yeah.
I have to listen to them all day.
Do you have
at
any
work,
more?
So
Oh, yeah.
Hey, feed us another one. Let's go.
Well, this is kind of a really, really short, funny story. I was talking to my apprentice this week. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember what we were talking about. And then he goes to bring up the Avengers. And he's trying to talk about a character in the Avengers to me and describe him because he couldn't remember his name. And he goes, I put this in quotations in my notes. He goes, the motherfucker with the eye patch, from Avengers? That's Samuel Adams, right?
Oh, God.
Isn't he mean Samuel L. Jackson?
Great action star and beer.
And his character name is Nick Fury, by
Yes,
the
it
way.
is.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson. It'll get you drunk.
At what point does a joke become a dad joke?
What point?
When the punchline becomes apparent.
Oh my god.
Boo. Boo. A busty crustacean.
Not a crusty bus station?
Mm-hmm.
what's the most famous fish in the world?
What?
I'm asking.
I don't know.
Starfish.
How did we miss that?
Somebody had to take you out of your misery, dude. Come on.
Oh, God. Jingle the damn keys.
I already did.
Again.
Yeah, how about another one? Okay.
Why do riot police get to work early?
Why do what?
Riot police get to work early to beat the crowd.
Oh my
Because
god.
it's quiet. Riot. Get it?
We need to thank our sponsors for helping us keep the
Christ.
lights on. Thank you so much, Travis Ferris from Hit Distributing, supplying us with Justice Brothers products.
Nick Lowridge from Matco Tools and Milwaukee.
And also
Ray
Raymond
Moon.
from El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore.
From
Creamy
Zion
Guac.
with his creamy guac.
Wait, I think I said a curse. Creamy
He
guac.
said Kamiwa.
I didn't say that.
Kamiwummies.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you, Norm.
Thank you, everybody.
We will see you after the break.
We'll be right back.
With special guest Tommy.
Yeah.
Something smells delicious in here.
Yeah, it does. I'm hungry. Jake, are you eating El Ranchito Taco Shop?
That looks amazing. What did you order?
Tacos.
What?
Guac.
Jake, are you choking? Get out of my way, Michael. He needs the Heimlich.
Oh my god, I cannot believe this is happening again. Jake, you know you're allergic to avocado. One generic allergy medication later. Are you okay?
Yeah. Almost dying is so worth it to have some El Ranchito creamy guac. Thanks, Eric, for trying to save me, even though I wasn't joking.
I know. I just wanted to get you from behind.
Well, I guess this is a good time to tell everybody that if you're ever in the Inland Empire and are craving some great Mexican food, visit El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore.
Seriously, I follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Ranchito Elsinore.
El Ranchito Taco Shop.
More than just great Mexican food.
Everyone do the devil horns with Tom.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
To all
Welcome
our
back
sponsors.
to Customer States Podcast. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to all of our listeners. We cannot do it without you.
Yeah, we
would not
appreciate
do
the
it
lights
without
being
you.
on.
And
With that, we say...
Love you.
triggered.
You should have seen her eyes light up.
She was looking so confused.
She was looking at me and he said, with that we say, she's like, love you.
It was her automatic
you
reaction.
fucking Pavloved me.
So again, thank you. Welcome back to Customer States Podcast.
Yes, we covered that.
And we are going to talk about our very special guest this week, Tommy De La
Mr. De La
Cruz.
Cruz.
De La Cruz.
So
De La Cruz.
tell us about yourself. How'd you get started in the automotive industry? How long you been doing it? What do you do? You know, what got you started? All that kind of stuff.
So I've been in this industry for over 25 years. Yeah, it is that funny. It really is.
These two bitches are losing their
I'm
shit.
not that far away from you, actually.
So the parts thing, I just kind of fell into it. My brother and some friends.
Hold the fucking fort.
Oh, did we forget a crap?
Fucking fort.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we have to do
I'm
this.
used to you doing it.
Michael,
Eric.
where's
Thank
my
you.
Coke Zero?
Don't be rude.
Do you want me to
said
get
didn't
you a
want
Coke
anything.
Zero?
Cutting in a line.
Jake can join in later
You got a
with
fat
his
ass.
crack.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Those are words.
Call your mother. She worries about
Okay,
you.
Tommy, continue.
I did miss that.
Okay. So I forget. It's okay.
You're talking about you doing it for a really long time.
Yeah,
your
really
brother.
long time. And my brother, yeah, he started in the business after the military and kind of got me into it. And so I just kind of, like I said, just kind of fell into it. It was there, and it was something, you know, cars I was familiar with and whatever. So I originally went to work in the body shop, but then found myself in parts.
Like
And-
as a body shop tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I started driving, and, you know, just the whole thing kind of went from there, just whatever, up to
One thing to another.
receiving,
Climbing the ladder.
that. Yeah, just learning the whole process. And like now it's just come to the point where I can just pretty much do it in my sleep, aside from not having a life. I mean, it kind of gives me a life because I don't have to think too much about, I know this sounds wrong in any parts people listening, I apologize, but I don't have to think a whole lot about what I'm doing because I've been doing it so long that it just kind of is second nature now. So
Yeah.
whatever I'm doing outside of work is like just fun and enjoyable, and I'm not kind of thinking about, you know, too much. So, but yeah, it's just.
Do you enjoy your job?
For the most part, you know, I do. I mean, I kind of enjoy just trying to improve on things on a day-to-day basis.
Like
And-
improve
All right,
on
we're,
your processes.
we're not interviewing you for a raise or anything like that. Just tell us how you really feel.
No, I do. I mean, I really do genuinely. I mean, it's just me as a person. Like, I mean, you know, there's other things that I do, like creative wise, that, you know, fulfill me and fulfill my soul. And like, so I kind of found a way to find that fulfillment in work. And it's not always that way, obviously. And like sometimes how I feel, yeah, I want to come in and just like start beating certain people.
My meat.
Eric, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Eric is one of my favorite. Totally, like he's always cool with me, but he's a rarity that I've noticed, especially at the current
this
place.
location.
Yeah, the location where we found employment. And I forgot where I was going with this things. But yes, I do enjoy it, and some days it is a struggle just knowing like what is coming, you know, what kind of tasks are coming or something is just kind of bothering me about parts. And as you all
like
know,
the state
like,
of parts.
yeah, back orders, this, that, or the other thing. Then it, you know, that consuming part of it is what I try to.
Helpless.
Yeah, that's what I try to avoid outside of work. Which is odd that I'm here at a podcast talking about work. So, whoo, yeah.
Mind blown.
Hey, but you get to, this is venting about work. It's venting about work.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess
Therapy.
so therapy. So then I only have one thing to say, which is fuck.
Amen.
Hashtag sell the bell.
Agreed.
Yeah, and yes, I do blame my grays on the job sometimes.
It's okay. I blame all my pimples on all the technicians and people that make my job hard.
Yeah,
I
there's
blame
nothing.
everything
It has.
on like
Everyone
the
else.
job now.
It
I
has
just
nothing.
blame whatever. Like if I get into a car crash on the way home, knock on wood, thank God there's some right. Oh, you put this here on purpose. Then I'm gonna blame it on the job.
I had a goldfish
I
that
was stressed.
died, and I for sure blame it on my work. Like,
Yeah, exactly. See, that's just how I am. It's
the nature.
My shoelace broke. And it's like, fucking goddamn parts department, man. It's like driving me crazy. I don't know what to do.
Now you know how we feel.
With all the processes.
Well, actually, I
Thanks.
wanted to ask
the
you a
processes.
question, Tommy, that will circle back to that because it's totally included. Like you were talking about how you like you think about how like you can improve things and stuff like that. I think everyone can relate to that, like in one sense or the other, because I definitely like that's something that I'm always trying to do, and it's a big thing in the shop right now because we have new service writers and new things where new processes when people come in, that's like your chance to do something new and to really get things going properly. So yeah, like what do you try and focus on? Like are you talking about like the way you personally do things, or the way that you would do like what you want to implement for the shop as a whole, like for your department as a whole?
I think part of it is definitely self-improvement. So, because if I don't continually try to self-improve, you know, myself, whatever, then I can't be effective in improving anything else. That's just how I feel.
That's very true.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
Do you want to come work for? Actually, I love my parts department.
That's cool.
Which side?
And they probably love you back because parts department personnel do respect the people that respect us.
Of course.
And we feel it. We know who it is. And then we know who the troublemakers are, whatever. I mean, like, we're kind of like this hub of where people go to vent. And it's like everything. Like, we hear it all. And, you know, it's like I always make this joke, like, we are the last in line for the most part. You know, it's, you call a dealership and it's like for sales, press 1, for service, press 2, for for the
Parts.
janitor, press 3. Like for like plane tickets to like wherever, press 4. If you need some random information about nothing that means not anything to
Anyone.
absolutely anyone, yes, thank you. Press 5. And if you need parts, I forgot what it was, but we'll try to leave them a message. And thanks for calling. But on the other hand of that, when somebody needs random information, like how do you roast a marshmallow? Oh, just see parts. They'll tell you how it is. Like seriously.
Pull it up in your catalog.
It's totally like that. So, yeah. So
Is
we
it
just,
an 84 marshmallow?
and that's why we just, that like if you ever see like
2-wheel,
hammers
4-wheel.
next to a parts guy, like a hammer, it's because he's about to bash his head in. With it, so.
Jesus.
And
Please don't ever do
I
that.
don't condone that. Please, I'm just saying.
Take care of yourself.
Disclaimer.
Right.
Like,
No self-hammering, please.
yeah, please don't do it. It doesn't feel good at all.
He knows.
Yeah.
From experience.
Yeah. And you will wake up with the worst headache ever.
I like my parts people. I like Ron and Jeremy and Tanya and Alex.
Ron Jeremy.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
legitimately.
caught that.
Legitimately, that's not even a joke. That's the
Who's the young kid on the BW side?
Reggie. He's just a moldable little amazing little piece of clay that's turning out to be a beautiful work of art.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's
Very nice.
absolutely gorgeous.
Very good to hear.
Calm the fuck down, Miriam.
So I would like to say that I like 3/4 of our parts department.
I could give or take Bruce.
Well, that's not who I'm talking about at all.
Tommy, what was the first car that you ever bought with your own money?
Oh, no, that's a
That
good one.
what? I bought with.
I would
No,
you would have heard me had everyone not interrupted over my
The
voice,
proper question.
It's a-
What was
I
the first car that you bought with your own money?
And the first car that you drove, whether or not you paid for it.
Okay, well, the first car that I drove, I can't even remember what it was. It was probably like a Capri or something my sister owned.
Oh my God, a
Like
convertible Mercury.
it was a Pinto.
Nice.
Oh, my.
So
Those are beans.
the first car I ever bought on with my own money was a '83 F-150. That was a
shit.
3-speed manual transmission.
Wow.
3-speed.
with the straight 6, and it was lifted. It was something my brother and a friend of his kind of built, and so I bought it off my brother
Was it 3 on the floor or 3 on the tree?
on the floor. So it was a really awesome truck.
Yeah.
So that was the first one, which was so Ford. I mean, I pretty much own Fords like forever. It's just kind of a family
now?
thing, I guess.
And now
And now I own a Ford
For what?
Ford Ranger.
it's a motherfucking Ford Ranger.
Is it bare bones stock?
Don't start with me, Jacob. I also have a Ranger.
That's What's
Oh,
wrong with Wayne? What?
Okay.
No,
let
wrong.
me
Nothing wrong.
take it back a little bit. There's nothing wrong with it.
We'll
we
talk after
all
the show.
went together to the desert, 4-wheeling and dealing into the Mojave Desert, and it became an ongoing joke of Mike's bone stock Ford Ranger. And it was hilarious.
For my bone stock Jeep and your bone stock Ranger.
The rented Jeep.
Yeah,
Right?
we rented a Jeep that we definitely didn't.
I gotta be honest. That shit was impressive that it stood up.
The Jeep or the Ranger?
Both.
Yes. Well,
Well, they both had cracked windshields at the end of the
Yes, they
trip.
yeah. Well, you know what? One was caused by the Jeep.
That's true.
That can't be proven. That
Oh,
could have
sorry.
jumped over from Kevin's truck.
Wait, time out. Was one caused by the Jeep or was one caused by the Ranger following too closely to the Jeep?
Oh,
It was for sure me following too close. I will admit that. I will
The
admit
chicken
that.
or the egg?
Yeah. No, it was me following too close.
Oh, I speaking of Jeep, I met Kerr's sales manager.
Hi, Kerr.
I met a sales manager. He brought in his wife's CX-9, 5,
Is that John?
9. Huh?
Is that John? Oh, you don't remember? Okay. Sorry.
It was the CX-9. He came in for concerns that his wife was having. He's like, I don't hear any of this, but the But he's like, the boss is law. So
Smart
What a
man.
smart
yeah, exactly.
man,
We'll get right on that for you.
Yeah, exactly. He's all like, she says that there's a popping noise coming out of a driveway. She says that there's a weird ticking noise coming from the steering column. She says that the infotainment screen is rebooting. So
We will diagnose
any of
all of
those
those concerns
issues?
for you.
the popping noise
Exactly.
is
CV axle.
is a TSB to tighten down the cow bolts.
Like moo.
Cow.
Cow.
I think there was an L at the end of that.
Moo bolts, yeah. So tighten down the cow bolts. The
cowl.
Cowl.
bolts, and the ticking noise is normal in all Mazdas. Every single one does it. I don't know why. You turn
Wrong
it
knock.
all.
That'll happen.
Oh my god, he's not wrong. Lifter noise, Michael. And the screen rebooting, it needed a software update in a bad way.
Well, someone trained him right.
Who?
Problem solved. Oh, to let his wife be always right.
Yes, dear.
Yeah, see? Look at you guys. I did it.
Oh yeah, she didn't train me well at all.
Not at all.
As he points to my
That is-
brand new
It's because-
10-year anniversary
Necklace.
necklace.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
10 wonderful years.
Shut up. They are wonderful.
I bet he
balls a
has a
tug tit
lot
fucker?
of processes in place to get through that.
Process.
Processes.
Process high.
Process in.
So, what I want to talk about was
Can I just point out the
Processes.
fact that our guest has a topic on the board?
I know.
That's very
I don't
impressive.
think we've ever had a guest that has a topic on the board.
I don't know if that's
Can I
true.
get a woo woo? So, let me tell you something about processes.
Let me tell you something.
The process in here is something that I will never talk about. I'm kidding, dude. It's all good, man. It's
You signed the NDA
or
when you
lack
came
of.
in.
yeah. So processes. So was kind of talking about them before the show about that, it's kind of relevant to efficiency. I don't know about necessarily like one individual, but it helps with efficiency of everybody if dealerships have a process, and it's not a process that helps just one individual. It's a process that helps everybody as a whole, because at the end of the day, we're all in the dealership as a team. Whether you like somebody or not, it doesn't matter, because
Get the damn job done.
get the damn job done.
Jam Dob Jun.
Yeah, totally. Yes. Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to start using that.
Those are words.
I can use my words. Get the motherfucking shit handled.
There you go.
And fucking, we won't have a problem. So, but even that is a process. So, there are ways to make processes. A process, whatever it may be, ordering parts, getting them to the tech, whatever. But it's when you get these rogue people that just are comfortable doing it their own way, and they'll follow the process maybe for one transaction, and then it's like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna do my own thing, I'm gonna go off and fucking. And it's those motherfuckers. If you're listening, you might know who you are. I don't know. It fucking depends how hard-headed you are. So
That can't be me.
but so yeah, if you follow the process, it generally works for everybody.
It's there for a
So
reason.
yeah, and there's always tweaks to be made, whatever, keep an open mind, but just understand that those processes are there for everybody, not just one person. So again, just everybody is there. And I think for the most part in our dealership, just talking, Eric and I, just talking with, management and stuff, they get that. They understand, that, it is going to take a team, to work together and make this boat float and keep on going, but
Can I say how lucky we are, though, that management understands that?
some of them.
Make the boat float.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, they do. They do for the most part understand it, and they promote it and kind of, listen to us and let us kind of develop our own system with whether, in parts, whether it's a back counter, front counter, or whatever, that's going to streamline our end of it. And that way, it'll make it better and more efficient, for us to be able to get the parts to the technician so that the jobs will keep rolling out, because I believe that we do have enough work in our shop, but it's just following the damn process. They're there for a reason. Just like, sorry, there's a puppy next to me.
I have a question. RE processes. Whose job is it to make sure that the processes get followed?
Management.
Is it just management?
It's a
I
team
think it's
effort.
I think it's everybody's. I think it's individually, like everybody's obligation if they want to work in that environment or any kind of team environment. I think you have to understand that you're going to be part of this team.
Play your part to do your role.
Right. Exactly. Do your role, and don't, go off on doing your own thing because it's comfortable and that's how you're used to doing it.
This is your job. These are the procedures to follow to get the things done that you need to have done. And there's no deviation from the course. This is the way that it's set up that everybody else in the dealership or whatever environment that you work in follow. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's Starbucks or McDonald's or a dealership. There are procedures and process to make sure that things move freely and just like they're supposed to. And when one person deviates from that planned goal, everything gets mixed up because now nobody knows what's going on. And so everybody needs to work as a team. It's just like, birds flying in formation.
It's like ants in a line. You put a frickin' rock in it and they don't know what the fuck to do.
You know what they really hate is magnifying glasses.
Or if you get your finger and wipe the little scent off of the pavement or whatever, and they just kind of go batshit crazy all over the place.
Yeah.
But they eventually find their way back. So what does that say about ants and people that work in dealerships?
Ants are smarter than people that work at dealerships.
You might be right. Fuck.
Listen to Customer States Podcast for more deep thoughts.
We're all like ants.
Speak for yourself.
What is this?
That
A
is the
dealership for
ultimate goal.
ants?
So
Yes.
So I had an interesting thing happen to me today. This week, I won't say today. We had two different days. We had two Raptors come in with literally the same problem, and coming in on the tow
rattle.
No, coming in on the tow truck with both tires looking like a cross-eyed, wonky-eyed person.
Oopsie.
Front tires, and
Had a bit of a lazy eye.
what had happened was
I think you sent it a little too hard, brother.
what had happened was that somehow randomly on both trucks. It's really crazy that this happened because one vehicle was from Utah, the other vehicle was from our state, but they had aftermarket lift kits on them, and in the lower control arms at the rear of the control arm, they put an eccentric in there to help adjust the alignment when you lift these vehicles. On both vehicles, granted they were on opposite sides, but whatever shop did these vehicles, they didn't tighten down the eccentrics all the way, the bolt that goes through the control arm to control the eccentric, to control the alignment. They didn't tighten that bolt down all the way. The bolt backed out, the control arm popped out in the back, and all hell broke loose. So we had
On both vehicles.
on both vehicles. So one vehicle was already
Did they run into each other?
no, but they're both black Raptors. So imagine that. So one's wrapped though. It's really a white Raptor, but it's wrapped black.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so
Like an Oreo.
the tow truck comes, it's on a flatbed, and I can already see that the wheels pushed up into the bumper. It's like destroying the fender and the bumper. And all of a sudden I see that
Call your insurance company.
there's the customer out there. And I hear over the radio, because I was wearing the radio at that point. I hear over the radio, oh, hey, the tow truck driver needs your help to get the truck off the tow truck. I'm like, okay, it's right by my stall. I'll be right there. So I'm talking with the tow truck driver, trying to get stuff, and like the customer's like right next to us as we're talking about how to get the tow truck down, or how to get the Raptor down off the truck, and with the front wheel shoved into the front bumper and the front fender and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of tell the customer like, hey, we need to like work here. If like you don't mind, just like go wait up in the customer lounge. And I start trying to like make it funny. It's like this is all under insurance, unfortunately, because he tells me the whole story, which I'll get to in a second. But he tells me the whole story, and I'm like, you know what? It's gonna be better if you just like go up there. We'll come get you when the truck's off the thing, and the service advisor will contact you from that point. So it turns out that he had just bought the vehicle from a dealership in Utah. And the dealership in Utah isn't actually a Ford dealership. It's just a dealership that bought the vehicle, modified it very heavily, and then sold it to this guy, who then they had it shipped out to his house, and he drove it for about a week before literally the wheel almost fell off the truck, in his words.
Dangerous.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah.
Big time.
So what had ended up happening was, again, like I said, that bolt backed out. But while the vehicle's on the tow truck, I'm like, listen, let me try and like do something at least to get the suspension back together so it's easier to get down off the tow truck. So I go and grab my biggest ratchet strap, and I do some like trail.
Your bigot ratchet?
Well, it's, yeah. It does not like foreign models, let me tell you. So I grab my biggest ratchet strap, and I go and I wrap the two control arms, like the two lower control arms together, to try and pull the suspension back in. And the tow truck driver tilts the bed down and starts to like let the tension off of it. And all of a sudden I see the right front, which has the problem on it, the right front wheel start to come back into place. I'm like, stop right there. So I go back underneath it, and I tighten down on the ratchet strap again, and the control arm goes right back into the hole where it was supposed to go.
No, just tow it right back to him.
So the customer was actually holding the bolt that fell out. Somehow he found the bolt, and I'm like, just give me a second. And so we get another ratchet strap, and we brace everything in. It's like I have one ratchet strap tied this way and another ratchet strap tied in an angle this way, and we were able to finagle that bolt back in so that we can get it down off the truck with like relatively no more damage to the front bumper. And the customer gave the tow truck driver, me and the other technician that was helping us, a cash money tip, just because he was like very impressed with like how we were able to handle the situation. So
Yay.
Nicely done.
well, the kicker to that story is that he had the day before he had the vehicle towed to us, he had another tow truck driver that was there for like 3 hours that called another tow truck driver out, and they couldn't get the vehicle on the tow truck, and like they aborted the mission. And so that was the next day that finally somebody was able to get the vehicle on the tow truck. And like in a matter of like a few minutes, I was able to like put this together and figure that out. Did you hear all those spurting noises?
I don't like it.
I was wondering
I
about
loved
that.
it.
Yeah. It was wild.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Cool.
I mean, it's just crazy. Like, that's like a trail fix. You have to get off the side of the road.
Right.
What do I have at my disposal to make this happen? It would be tie straps and a tree branch, or, a metal rod if you had something in the back of your truck. I mean, like anything just to get you off the side of the road. It's like, I kind of like that stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, just that dealership did all those whatever. I wouldn't call them upgrades because it doesn't sound like it was an upgrade. Whoever that wasn't authorized, just because it just like I've seen that before. With other, not just Ford, but with Dodge and whatever, they throw on all these like accessories and whatever, and they're not warranty, they're not they're not factory, and then the cars just become like those you know, those $300 dirt bikes that you see at these random like Toys R Us, well, ex Toys R Us, for, you know, during Christmas.
What's Toys R Us?
Yeah, and you break one little thing on those bikes and it's over with.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get parts for them. There's nothing, and that's I've seen that with these, you know, these hybrids, whatever you want to call them. But I don't know. Like, that's just something that I know. There was talk of it like years and years ago about addressing that, you know, to keep people from taking. But I mean, you can't stop the aftermarket from doing their thing. But it's just as long as like the factories approve of these accessories, I think that's something. And then there's a warranty to back it up. But just to start
That's the
slapping
biggest
on
thing.
like these like crazy tinfoil parts and stuff. It's just like, you know, because I mean, just being
Things
in the
made
parts,
of pot metal, you know, yeah.
But then they come, you know, the dealerships, and it's like,
Well, that's not
as
warranty.
parts, we have to deal with these crazy random things. It's like, where,
Like, I don't even
this
know what
came
this
off
is.
a lawnmower or something, and it's like it's crazy. I mean, but anyway, so.
Well, they do that so
that's
they
all I
can
have
sell
to
it
say
for more
about
money,
that.
right?
Yeah, I mean, and again,
Sorry to
so
interrupt.
so what the customer was saying was that he didn't buy it from a Ford dealership or anything like that. He bought it from like some company that
a used car
modifies
dealership.
vehicles. And then, you know, this thing happened after he got it shipped out here, and he brought it to a Ford dealership thinking it would be covered. And immediately I knew that's not warranty. So, you know,
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
for knowing my job.
Yeah, knowing it's not warranty.
Well, after almost 15 years, I would hope that I would.
Well,
know
you would
something.
think that, but I've worked for a lot of people who worked with a lot of people who have been doing the job for a long time that do some wild shit. So, just saying. On that note,
Do you know when a door is no longer a door?
when it's a
With
jar.
a jar.
Oh
You
my
stupid.
God. Jesus.
A jar of what?
You got any more for me?
What has teeth but cannot eat?
A piano.
A gear?
A comb.
Oh my God. Did you know that plateaus are the highest form of flattery? And whiteboards are absolutely remarkable.
Oh my God.
Looks like I'm gonna have to stretch my editing fingers tonight.
What?
No, I'm
What
just
can
kidding. This is
go
great.
up a chimney down?
Dick
But
Van
not
Dyke.
down a chimney up.
What can go up a chimney down?
But not down a
up in the
chimney up. No.
Smoke.
The
I
Grinch.
guess technically, but that's not the answer.
What is it?
It's an umbrella.
Ah, yes.
Up a chimney down, but not down a chimney. Oh, okay.
What's black and white and red all over?
Newspaper.
A frog in a blender.
A bloody Oreo.
Wow.
Okay, just threw it out.
Wow.
Well, thank you for listening to our Terrible Joke podcast. With that, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Yeah, there it is. We'd like to thank Travis Ferris from Hid Distributing, supplying Justice Brothers product.
We would like to thank Nick Larridge from Matco Tools, supplying us with Matco Tools and Milwaukee products.
Take the way mood in his creamy guac.
And what does he win, Jacob?
Nothing.
A delicious trip to El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore.
And thank you to our special guest Tommy for joining us in the
Thank you,
studio.
Thank you,
Tommy.
Mr. Pickles.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it and I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Yes.
You're definitely welcome back.
Thank
Awesome.
you to Norman Glacier and Jean-Luc and Dale
Vane.
Follett and Bruce Vane for these sick-ass tunes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
to Eric Jennings, Rachel, and Cash. We hope everybody is good
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
for listening.
for listening because they're amazing people. And
And
if
to
you,
all of our other listeners.
all of you who are so wonderful and we are so thankful for. And please don't forget to follow us on our social medias. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on the TikTokies.
You can literally go to Google and type in Customer States Podcast and everything will populate.
Yes, you can, but we have to remind people of that. And also we have an email.
customerstatespodcast@gmail.com.
Correct, and we also have a website.
We do.
It's the
With
exact
new
same
photos
thing
and bios.
.com.
It's
And
Customer States.
And with that, we say,
listen to our new commercials.
Love you, fuckers.
Love you, bitches.
love you.
Parts rules.
Hi, this is Mike Sarah from Customer States. Matco Tools is one of the best tool companies in the industry, and Nick Lowridge is one of the best Matco tool distributors. Nick can get me anything I need for the shop or for at home. From oil drain pans to beef jerky, Nick's got what I need on tap. Nick works in the Thousand Oaks, California area, and you too can get whatever you need by calling him at 805-796-7323. And if you're not in that area, call him anyway and tell him you heard about him from the Customer States podcast. And then you can hop on to matcotools.com and find a Matco Tools distributor near you. Matco Tools. Service, trust, results.